Good afternoon, or it's just about noon in Petaluma this morning, so thanks for joining me at Cuddles and Milk in Petaluma. Today I wanted to talk about, it's kind of my last tongue tie episode for a little while at least. While I am passionate about tethered oral tissues, tongue and lip tie, I know that's not the only issue out there facing mamas. So we're going to wrap this one up today, and then next week we'll start talking about something new. Maybe something that you or a friend or family member has been struggling with breastfeeding. So today I just wanted to discuss what happens if, let's say, your baby has tongue or lip tie, but you decided not to do anything. It wasn't that bad. It didn't interfere with feeding that much, or you chose to bottle feed, or for whatever reason you just decided that wasn't the right course. What are some of the things to watch for that could be complications of untreated tethered oral tissues? So what I would say is the obvious is tight in the mouth, right? So having that tight tongue can lead to really cramped teeth, very tight jaw, both in kind of muscular TMJ type thing, but also just in a very tightly formed jaw, not leaving enough space for teeth and needing more oral, orthodontia work later. So that's kind of one, is that really tight mouth. The bigger issue, and there's little ones, if as they grow up they can't stick out their tongue well, they might not be able to lick an ice cream cone, they might not be able to French kiss as easily, they might have more trouble with those types of tongue extension things. They can also have trouble with oral hygiene, getting that tongue up all the way, right, all the way up to the back top teeth and everywhere around to get food stuck and everything else. But as you grow up, you can use your finger if you get some almond butter stuck back there or something like that. It's not the end of the world. I think as kids are growing, the bigger one to watch for and to consider is that when they're sleeping, if the baby or child does not rest their tongue up on their palate. So as we sleep, our tongue's supposed to go up here. If you just sit for a minute and kind of close your eyes, and you'll feel your tongue rest at the upper palate. That's where it's supposed to rest when you're sleeping. However, with tongue tie, a lot of people cannot do that. Their tongue rests on the bottom of their mouth. Sometimes that causes that tongue jutting, which also then creates that tight teeth up here. But it also affects sleep. It decreases the amount of REM sleep you're getting because you wind up mouth breathing, can lead to things like sleep apnea and sleep issues, but also just that lack of REM sleep. And when you look at studies and you start talking about child development, and especially in those early years, when you affect REM sleep, you affect child development. Okay, so we know that babies who don't sleep well, babies who are chronically sleep deprived, which is kind of an unusual group for children, but if they're not having good sleep, they're not having that reconstructive, that time for their body to kind of rehabilitate and feel better and refresh for the next day. If they're not having that, because that's when they grow, it will affect growth and development. It can also, with a lot of school-age kids, can affect attention span and, activity level and acceptance in classrooms, ADHD type situations and stuff like that. There's a lot of other things out there, but those are the main. And I think the biggest one to remember is that if it affects your sleep, it can affect a lot of things from there. There are a few things in life that can have very broad effects. For all humans, sleep is a huge one. Another one is stress. Stress and sleep both affect us so deeply that you can have so many random effects from stress. I can have totally different body response from stress than somebody else can have. I might have more stomach stuff and have ulcers, whereas somebody else might get chronic headaches. But they can both be caused by stress. It's kind of the same with sleep. Not everyone's going to have the same effects, but if we're having babies that are not, and children that are not getting good REM sleep because of the way their mouth is breathing at night, it's definitely going to affect them negatively in their growth and development. It just might not all be the same from one child to the next, okay? So those are just a few of the reasons I want you to consider having your baby's mouth evaluated and checking into tethered oral tissues and kind of dealing with this at a young age. It's much easier than a later age. I know people who've actually had it done as adults, and it's not terrible, but it's not as easy as it is as a kid. So I would say get it done as early as possible. It's definitely better, even if it isn't affecting breastfeeding, or even if you're not planning on breastfeeding. It's much easier to be dealing with doing the little mouth stretches and everything on a 2-week-old than on a 2-year-old or a 12-year-old. Okay? So that's kind of the wrap up of tongue tie. I hope you guys have learned a lot from diagnosis to treatment to aftercare plan. If you have questions, you can go back and watch some of my videos on tongue tie and see where we left off. And next week we're going to start a new series, so something totally different you'll have to clue in to see. I haven't totally decided. There's so many wonderful topics to talk about. If anyone has an idea, please email me. You can check out my Facebook, you can check out my Instagram, or even my website, cuddlesandmilk.com, and you can let me know what would you like to learn about, what video would be helpful to you, and how can I help. Okay? Thanks for joining me at Cuddles and Milk and Petaluma today, and have a great day. Bye.